You know, some of you are going to have to decide whether or not you support the president or the country. You know, the president said as much. He actually accused some people, let's see, Democrats or those who have found him out for what he is, a charlatan. He accused us of being treasonous. In other words, in the president's view, if in fact you are a dissenter to him as the president and what he's doing, then it's tantamount to treason. He actually said that. So you got to decide, America. You got to decide whether or not you're going to support this pariah called the president, or you're going to support your country. It's coming down to that. Now, I know there's some of you who feel that Rip is trying to shame me. You need to get over yourself. And stop. Look, it's difficult. Just because you like someone doesn't mean that they are beyond reproach. You like your children, but they can do some dumb crap, you know? You like the children, but you got to chastise them. You like the children, but there are things that's some lines you can't cross. You love them. But it is you, the authority, the person who's in charge of them, like we're in charge of the presidency, to hold them to the guidelines and the standards that we put forth. And in this case, with the presidency, is the Constitution. So you're going to decide, America. Some of you guys who support this guy have got to understand you can support him, but while he's sitting in prison, it has nothing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we still are a country of laws, and we are defined by our laws. That's why when the president took an oath, he took an oath to defend the Constitution, not even this country. No Constitution, no country. You got me? It's just land. What defines America is that document that says this is what we are and this is what we seek to be. We're not perfect, but we seek to be there. Noble, I think that is. Very noble. This is not noble we're having here now, folks. Not one of you individual Trumpettes can sit there and feel good about this. Don't feel good about this. Don't have this guy force you to choose him over your country now. Hillary Clinton didn't make him do anything. President Barack Obama didn't make him do anything. This guy is doing this all by himself. He created this fiasco all by himself, I'm going to tell you. Much of which because he won't shut the hell up. You know what I know. I'm sorry, won't stop tweeting. I mean, he tells on himself far better than anything else. Anybody. I mean, folks, you can't leak. There are no leakers inside the White House better than the dribble coming from this guy's mouth or on his Twitter. Here's a guy who tells on himself and then blames people for leaking it. This is just stupid, Ro.
How dare you tell someone what I told you about myself? How could you do that to me?
I want loyalty. I mean, I only laugh because it's just so profoundly pathetic where we are. And when I hear individuals, some of you who are called here trying to make sense of this, you realize how dumb you sound? And sometimes I will deliberately hang up on you so you just will not continue to make a fool of yourself, and you don't even know it.
It's for you, it's not for us.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I want to sit down and have a decent conversation with you. But you can't... You can't come up with these little false equations. Well, what about Hillary? What about Obama? They're gone. And if you want to file charges against them, Donald John can do that. It's okay. I'm not defending them. But you can't continue to be indoctrinated by Russian Limbaugh and this idea that, oh, well, why didn't they go after Hillary? The real ones, the real culprits, was President Barack Obama. That's when they started doing the attack. Well, guess what President Barack Obama did? He sent a web bomb. Remember that?
I do.
That web bomb that resulted in 4 Russians being arrested. Remember that? Remember the sanctions that he put on the oligarchs right after the Ukrainian situation? And during this, remember the 3 arrests that was made right there? We had 2 arrests in France and then 1 in, I think, around the former Yugoslavia. No, look, I'm not bragging about it. I'm just simply saying here's what happened. And it's like you guys, you actually conservatives have selective amnesia so that it will buy into your narrative about yourself that somehow or another you are so great and you ain't. Shiggity. I said shiggity.
Yeah.
Why you got your finger on the button?
I'm still getting used to this whole delayed thing. I gotta, be ready.
I mean, I'm at a point now where it's like, look, it's no more Donald Trump. I know what's going to come out of the White House, but look, if you support him, and we are associates and we're having a debate, not just on the air, don't somehow or another talk about this as if it is normal.
Yeah.
This shiggity ain't normal. Ain't a damn thing normal about what we're having right now. A porn star is suing the president. Here it is. A president's lawyer just paid her, well, it happened about a decade ago, 2006, after he was married to Melania for less than a year.
Right after baby Barron was born.
Well, they didn't have a marriage, they have an arrangement.
Yeah.
The former Soviet Russian-speaking person that she is. This isn't normal.
This is not normal.
It's not normal. Don't go playing with me. Don't folks. I come here, I do this, and you'll be surprised I get the emails from all kinds of people, and I talk to folks on both sides of the aisle. Many people know that I'm just a pragmatist. I really am, folks. Some people are dogmatic about it, but I'm just a pragmatist. You're not going to put me into some little, Rip Daniels is of this. Rip Daniels is a Rip Daniels. And trust me, I've earned every bit of it to be exactly what you're listening to. Oh, I'm harsh, but I'm fair. But you're not going to sit here and try to convince me, this is just how it is, and playing some kind of oxy-conservative talk radio, have an agenda. I have no agenda except for an informed electorate. I want you guys to be informed. And I allow you this forum to inform each other. But I'm not going to let you get away with saying, that's a fact, and I know it's not a fact. Oh, that's a fact. Well, I know what facts are. I know what opinions are, and opinions on this show are not right and not wrong, but there is such a thing as a fact. 2 and 2 is 4. It is not kind of 4. Not 3 and a half, not 3 weeks, 3 3/4, not almost 4. It's pretty much 4, bro. Most of the time. Superior Court of the State of California for the County of Los Angeles. Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels, I actually had someone to ask me if I knew her. She in your family? I had to go look at it. You know what, Ro?
Could have been.
Could be. I'm just saying. I'm really serious about that, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean,
I know.
look at her lips.
Yeah.
Let's see, she is a.k.a. Stormy Daniels, a.k.a. Peggy Peterson. Why do porn queens have to have names like that?
Well, you got a name for the
Peggy
club,
Peterson.
you got a name for the movie.
It's the alter ego.
You got a name for the indie movie. You know what I'm talking about.
Versus the plaintiff, let's see, she's the plaintiff, the defendant is Donald J. Trump, a.k.a. David Dennison.
Wow.
An individual, Essential Consultants, LLC, against a Delaware limited liability company. Now, she's suing the company as well. And DOES 1 through 10 inclusives, blah, blah, blah. Here it is. So, what Stormy is saying on exhibit number 1, now it's backwards when you look at it on Facebook now, folks. So exhibit number 1, she says, well, look, I signed it, and I used the Ellis, but he didn't sign it. You see, you got the little signatures on each one of the pages here. I don't know. You see at the bottom, very bottom there?
So Daniel Dennison didn't sign?
Daniel Dennison didn't sign
He
it.
put his John Hancock down.
This doesn't get any easier for me.
Are you sure?
It doesn't. It's embarrassing.
It is. It really is.
Oh, no, I've got it. Whoa, wait a minute. I got a DD here.
What?
DD's right there. I don't know if you guys can see this. See at the bottom here. This is the exhibit. This is the hush money. This is the hush money contract.
$30,000.
This is the hush.
Dirty money.
And the reason why it's funny to me because this is the hush money contract. If it was hush, then we wouldn't be talking about it, would we?
Loud.
This is the hush money contract. This is like what's her name whispering in the microphone saying it's bad. It's really, really bad. And she's on the mic. Oh, the public can't hear you. Who was that?
Omarosa.
Omarosa, yeah. One of the army that just left the White House, and yeah, yet another one's gone. So here it is. So she gets down. They get to the point where they've got some, let's see, representations and warranties regarding prior disclosures of tangibles. Tangibles? You know, when you're looking at this, it's just assorted. By the way, did the evangelicals still give him his mulligan, or did they take the mulligan back?
No, he still got that mulligan. I don't know
Oh,
what
he
it's gonna
got
take.
more than the mulligan.
A mulligan and a half.
I've seen Stormy. She got more than some mulligans now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Pay good money for those mulligans.
So I'm not going to bore you with the sordid details of this. It is salacious, far more salacious, maybe even than the actual dossier, which has been confirmed, by the way. Every time you hear Oscar conservatives say, "Well, you know, the phony dossier," you guys need to call them and say, "What's phony about it? Give me the example in there of what's phony." You have an admission from Donald John that he was there at the Ritz-Carlton. It was 5 hookers. His bodyguard was there, stayed at the door for 5 minutes, and then walked away. I mean, then you got the Russian A talking to American B. It's at the same time that Page was there in the Soviet Union. You know. But here is what Stormy is saying. I'm going to show this to you, folks. This happened on, let's see. Oh, this is 2016. This is when they got her to sign the hush money before he.
Payment came out, yeah.
Yes, that's when the payment happened.
When he was gearing up for the run.
So they wanted her to sign off that she was not going to come forward before. Now this is after the nomination, though. This is after he won the Republican nomination. It was 10-31-16, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be backwards. There it is. So before he ran in the November election against Hillary Clinton, by the way, he was constantly on Bill Clinton for his philandering. Remember that?
Yeah, I thought things I maybe helped with some of that.
So-
But there was pieces of business that were unresolved, so we had to straighten things out.
Well, they did with this hush money, but the problem here is that he didn't sign. Right here. Says 10-31-16. Right? There you go then. That's going to be backwards, so get a mirror and then you can see it. And you will see Keith M. Davidson, Esquire, attorney for PP, or DD, or PP. See, all of this had to be done with, I guess, pseudonyms or with aliases, because after all, you don't want anybody to know about it. Settlement agreement and releases agreement of copyrighted, blah, 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 blah. And so you turn around here and you go to this page. Some things are redacted. It's okay. You will see that Peggy Peterson, a.k.a. Stormy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stormy Daniels. Maybe a relation. I don't know.
P.P. Peterson.
She got that money. I mean.
Got the nose.
So Peggy Peterson, right there, signed, and right at the bottom, Keith M. Davidson, Esquire, who is the attorney, and then David Dennison, a.k.a. Donald John, just another John, another John, brother, who became president, and some of you are happy about that. This speaks to the man's character. Let's see the hands of those who believe the $130,000 came from his campaign funds. Don't be stupid, America. I mean, look, regardless of what this guy says about you, don't live up to his expectations. I mean, when you do that, it gets to be, it embarrasses us as a country.
How stupid are the people of the country?
He expects us to be, bro.
He's counting on it.
He really is.
He won on it.
Don't lower your standards, America, just because we made a mistake. You know what I mean? Admit that you made a mistake. Admit it.
First part of correcting it.
We can correct this mistake, folks. This guy needs someone to bring him into. I mean, look, Mississippi, you're about to elect 2 senators. Any one of those senators say they support Donald John. Trust me on this. You need to, at a quick pace, vote against that guy. This is the kind of guy who needs to be reined in. I know what kind of guy he is. I've dealt with people like this. I've read his book. I know. It's all about him. He feels he can buy his way out of anything, literally. And now he has the U.S. Treasury to do it. In his mind, this is not our country. This is his company.
Whoa.
This is his company. Everybody who's working in and around the house, the White House, the West Wing, or the military are working for him. That is his honey. Those are his Negroes. You know, those are his patsies. Those are his yes men. And I'm telling you, some of you have taken that hook, line, and sinker, and you got to decide whether or not it's going to be him or the country. Because we can't go like this. So now his top economic advisor, Cohen, is now out of here. And so now I'm just kind of looking at the markets over here.
Little dip there, huh?
Well, markets are doing what markets are doing. Not that it should matter. There's no way in the world we who are in business are going to be confident about this. We're not. I'm not. I'm not even in the steel and aluminum business, but let me just tell you something. I'm not comfortable with the instability. Now it's more of the mental stability. I mean, who does this? Now, then you have a guy that'll come out and say, look, I like operating in chaos. And no doubt he possibly does. He's one of those CEOs that feels that he'll pay for a lot of suits. Usually individuals who will consider as experts, and then you listen to the experts and they have them talk it out and then make a decide. I embrace that concept. And then I decide. However, when you're doing it in public, it just doesn't look good, bro. That's his problem. He doesn't understand that he is not the CEO. This is not close the door in the boardroom. Even in the Oval Office, you're doing the people's business, and that too, sir, unless it's top secret, can be found out. Whatever happened to the tapes that was supposed to be there with Nixon and all? Are the tapes running on this guy?
Hopefully. He said they were. Remember when he said that Comey better hope that there was no tapes running during?
Well, yeah, but that's when he had him in there when they were having dinner. This is just really salacious crap. So let me tell you how this plays out. For those of you who've been players a time or two, those of you who have, provided some hush money, say, look now, hey, I'm about to get married now, I just can't, you can't be, I'll get you a car, but can we just break it off? Now I'm going to get you a car and we just break it off, all right? You promise? Remember I got those pictures of you, I can send them to your kids. Well, that's bad, isn't it? That was a hard move there, but I want you to know that you look for that kind of leverage when you realize that someone is not going to keep their mouth shut. You go, okay.
You got to pull out that Trump card.
That Trump card. Who does this but a guy like this? I don't doubt this is this guy. That's why I call him Donald John, because he's just another John. And it wasn't a great prediction. It's easily predicted. You can always tell when there's a guy out here who thinks he's a player. And really, he's being played for his money. But he feels it's okay because I have enough money. All I got to do is keep enough money. Then I can be the superstar that everyone thinks I am or that I want to be. So, I don't know how this is going to turn out in America. I can probably suggest it. I don't doubt that there's an arrangement with Melania, and more than likely Melania is ultimately going to file for divorce or something of that sort. She's only doing this for her son anyway. Her son that more than likely Donald John didn't want. And I mean that too, by the way, folks. I've never seen him touch his son as his boy. Have you?
No.
Melania always seems to place herself between him and her son, as if somehow or another that mother, like a little bitch, the female dog, and I mean that literally. Female dogs will do that with the sire, with the male dog, and they call the female dog the bitch. But I noticed that Melania does that. She always has a tendency to make sure that she's in between the two. Yeah. Some mothers who have sons like that, and they're afraid of, be it the father or be it the stepfather, whoever, have a tendency to do that. I know that subject very well. So, you know, folks, character is everything to me. I mean, let me just tell you, there are people who are locked up in the penitentiary right now who I think have far more character than the president. Because these are individuals who are going to be honest. I'm going to tell you, they did some ruthless things. But there are some things they just won't lie about. Let me tell you, this guy will lie about everything. And I'll tell you something else about some of those guys in the penitentiary that I know. Their loyalty. I'm telling you, when someone goes down for them, they'll do anything there. Their debt's never paid. You know what I mean? In other words,
yeah.
When and with this president, when you show some loyalty and they hire someone, and you show that loyalty, like let's say Jeff Sessions Clampett, you know, when he shows that loyalty and he will turn around and stab you. You know?
Yeah, with a pitchfork.
Even if it didn't work out, there are folks in the penitentiary that can actually tell things and say things that will never say things, even though they and the person they know have parted ways. You know, it's because at that time you helped me. And once you've helped me, then you help me, and so therefore, you know, I'm not going to do anything to hurt you. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to turn around and go, oh, yeah, I fired you. And do it braggadociously like he did with Flynn or any of the other folks that he's fired. Oh, he was just a low level, never had anything to do with him, distanced himself. Oh, yeah, he's nobody. I just threw him away. He's fired! There are people in the penitentiary who have more honor and loyalty than this guy. So the way I see this going to work out here, bro, what you're going to have is, you're going to have, there's going to be some domestic things between he and Melania. No doubt about that. I don't doubt that he's going to find out about Melania and Raul.
Raul?
The bodyguard who's been protecting her while he's been going out on his...
We've been protecting her real good. Real good.
I don't think it doesn't happen. Just look at the mayor in Nashville.
Well.
I think that could possibly, and that was a little salacious. But I think we're going to be burdened. He's going to be burdened with a lot of court cases. You still got 11 cases whereby he's been accused of fraternization, unwarranted approaches, touching, and the like. Even one rape is still on the case of a younger girl. I think the weight of Donald John knowing that people are finding him out is going to force him out. I really do. He's just trying to get everything done, try to establish some first. See, right now, even if it's a first of doing dumb crap, I was the first to do it. It's everything he says. No one else has done this like me. I had the biggest crowd. I had the this and the that, all the way. So once he's gone, then he has some things for the record book he can brag on. I went ahead better than burden the country with all of my troubles. I decided I would withdraw. You know, but I left the country in good shape. And look at all the records I made.
So you're going to haul ass before it hits the fan then.
I think he could. You know, losing, it's not something he does very gracefully, folks. It just isn't. But more than that, it's not about losing as much as it is losing. See, for him, the loss becomes when he has lost more money than he's made. That's a real loss. In other words, the country is going to be in the tank. I'm going to tell you, we already started into the thing. But as long as he's able to make out like a fat rat like he did in most of the situations in his book, then he's okay. My family's okay. That's why his family's been so closely involved and so forth. As long as my family's okay, it's good. All right, a lot to cover, short period of time. This Gary Cohen leaving, the economic advisor, top economic advisor, pretty serious stuff. And Donald John has come forward to say he might not be the only one. There are people coming into this office, a dime a dozen, Folks, he has broken records already with the number of people who he have hired, who have left him. Doesn't that speak to the character of a CEO?
It would if it was, a corporation.
I mean, we very rarely have anybody leave here. And typically when they leave here, they're moving up. They're doing something else. And I encourage that, I really do. Don't I, Ro?
You do.
I mean, but it's like, really. This is here, Donald John, and there's no doubt that he's been with this woman. They got pictures and all together. They were in Utah. Down at the maybe they were at it must have been in Las Vegas down at the ranch there. Is that still open? And then there's this, folks. Yeah, I am. And then there's this. Tales from the Crypt lady. What's her name?
Kellyanne Conway.
Kellyanne Conway, yeah. So now she's been cited now as breaking the law.
Oh, she's a lawbreaker.
She broke the Hatch Act.
She'll be gone soon.
Federal employees using the official authority to influence the political election. She did that with the pedophile down there in Alabama, and so now, folks, you understand, this was investigated not by the Democrats, not by Congress, but by the Trump administration itself, literally. The U.S. Office of Special Counsel found that Conway violated the Hatch Act, which regulates campaign for most executives, which says it. And now they have forwarded this information to President Donald John for disciplinary action. So now he's got to discipline Kellyanne Conway.
I'm sure she'll enjoy that.
White House pushed back. Kellyanne Conway did not advocate for or against the election of any particular candidate. I want you to put up what she said about Judge Moore. And let's just find out. Now, you got to understand, his own office, his own U.S. Office of Special Counsel has said this to him, and it's like, she did not. This guy. She simply expressed the president's obvious position that he have people in the White House and Senate who support his agenda. In fact, Kellyanne's statements actually show her intention and desire to comply with the Hatch Act. So you pour more water on me and convince me it's rain. It's P.T. Barnum here, folks. All right, what else we've got here? Hang on, you folks, because I ended the show. I started the show off yesterday talking about those individuals who don't see the value of voting and how that is the first place to start of a mature individual in this country, adult, especially a man, and how it touches every facet of your life. Well, I can tell you right over there in the Bay-Waveland district in Hancock County, Mississippi, I'm going to tell you, it's a simple little thing, but it happens every day in these United States. The only African-American school board member, is out of there. Her term ended, and so therefore the newly elected mayor and the city council decided, we don't need to have an African-American school board member there in Bay-Waveland School District. What is the ethnic composition of Bay-Waveland anyway? The school district there, Ro. I thought I'd check with Whitlock on that, but you need to find, of course, folks, it's a small place here in the state of Mississippi, but here's why I brought it up.
Bay St. Louis, it's 15%. In Hancock County, 9 to 10%.
Well, the school district is what I'm asking for, not just the population. Yeah. So, talking about voting, you do understand this school board member is appointed by an elected official, the mayor, and approved by, if his appointment is approved by the city council, all of those individuals are elected. So what does the school board member do? Let's just see. He or she decides what happens to your child. As per curriculum, as per teachers, principal, administrators, they hire the administrators. They oversee disciplinary action of administrators, teachers, and the like, and pupils. When it comes to expulsion, these are the individuals that will evaluate whether that expulsion is fair or not. It's pretty serious stuff. And then there's this. One of the city council members actually had received a letter prior to the vote the mayor's vote on the new city council, the new school board member. And this letter was salacious. It really was. It basically suggested that the one Reverend Reed was a good Negro or a bad Negro, depending on where you are. We have that?
Here it is.
Take a listen to what this letter is.
Today, my wife happened to pull this letter out of the mailbox, and, you know, it's funny to me, and, you know, I kind of laughed it off. It says, "Nigger Jeff."
Did it say?
It says, "Thanks for all you do to help the good white people of Bay St. Louis from the evil of niggers on the Bay Waveland School Board."
All right, I know we're running out of time here. So he's using the N-word here. And by the way, folks, we only allow this for the sake of it was the letter, so we don't use that.
Yeah, he was reading what was written to him.
So they refer to him as the N-word what?
Jim.
Yeah. So they were thanking him for voting or not voting or supporting. This is interesting. Very interesting. It's a bigoted letter, no doubt. Was it from an African American or was it from a Caucasian? One has to wonder. But the more important issue for me is why would you not have some diversity on your school board? And yeah, does it have to do with complexion? Yeah. In this case, because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, be it Bay Waveland or be it Jackson, Mississippi, we still are pretty separated communities now. Let's not play like me like we're not. We are. Quick break. We'll be back.
It's about that time to get away. Make your reservations, pack your bags, and head on down to the coast. The Almanac Hotel and Bistro. Live music, entertainment, special events, and delicious, mouth-watering Cajun Creole cuisine. The Almanac Hotel and Bistro. Celebrate with special events, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, banquets, family reunions, office parties. High-end, intimate, and affordable. The Almanac Hotel and Bistro is the #1 spot for Jackson residents, with all-you-can-eat catfish, all-you-can-eat shrimp, and all-you-can-eat chicken for Grandma's Sunday brunch. The Almanac Hotel and Bistro
Were we supposed to
is a
get
key
these off
stop on
yesterday?
the Gulf Coast area. Recognized by CNN. Get a room for the weekend. Book now
Question
for low
was, were we
rates.
supposed to get them
Call
off yesterday?
228-865-9901 or log on to thealmanac.com. That's
drop them on the mailbox down there, right?
ALMANET.com.
Are you living with pain?
told me,
I
though.
was after a nasty
Well, it needs
fall.
to say I
I
didn't
got
get my
relief
other
with
letter
1
now.
hour pain relief. I'm Barry Yarkoni, president. And here's
gotta get
Lisa,
on it.
a Marine who was injured
Yeah.
in Iraq.
After surviving
Ain't
an
no excuse,
explosion,
you know
I was
what
on
I'm
horrible
saying?
painkillers
Don't
for
call me
lingering
right.
head, shoulder, back, and knee
I ain't gonna
pain.
let
But I
I
hated
ain't
the
gonna do
dangers and
myself
side
no shit.
effects.
Can't you-
My
you
friend
have
told
one.
me about 1 hour pain relief,
walked-
and now
rolled
I'm
around
off
those
the
little
drugs.
letters in my
1
damn
hour
car.
pain relief is the result of 15 years of research on an amazing extract from hops, the plant used to flavor